Hey guys, welcome back to Billy Ray Garage. In this video, we are going to be doing some odds and ends around the car. I will show you real quick. So we're going to change out the radio bezel because mine is absolutely disintegrated. Especially up top here because I've taken this thing out a couple times, changing the radio and putting gauge pods in. Like all these little tabs are broken on mine. I was able to source one of these off of Facebook Marketplace for a cheap deal of $325, which isn't bad at all, considering I've seen some in horrible condition going for like 500 bucks on eBay. So, win. Then we're going to jump over to the rear axle. One of the brackets holding up the third member, the bolt's going up and in. My torque wrench lied to me and one of those bolts snapped. There's 4 of them. 3 of them are good, 1 is not. Then we will go on to my rear shocks. I tightened down the bolt from the top too much and my polyurethane bushing started to split. So, got the solution to that. And also, it looks like I'm doing an oil change. I am, but when I installed the oil cooler, one of the lines is just leaking the littlest bit, so we're going to tighten that up and get that situated. So let's get out in the garage and start fixing this stuff and get this car back to whole. Alright guys, out in the car. Now the first thing you got to do to replace this bezel is, I don't know if you need to take this out, but there's a little rubber thing down here, a little rubber tray. Take that out. And then, I don't know if you can see down there. Let's see if I get a light. Oh, I think I can see it. So, right there, there's a little screw that you got to take out. I left mine out because I knew I was going to do this job eventually. So you got to take that screw out or you're going to break your center console. You do not want to do that. Alright, so once you've gotten that taken out, you come over here, open the glove box, and you kind of get your hand in here and pull up, and that'll tear up. Now I got a line lock in here and a couple other things, so I'm just going to be careful. I also disconnected the battery just in case, but probably don't really need to. So then we'll take this and we'll pop that out a little bit. I'm probably going to have to disconnect the windows and the traction control and the line lock to get this thing out entirely. So let me do that real quick. There's just a couple tabs down here. So you got your windows, your traction control, and I have the line lock. So I'm going to disconnect that real quick and then we get to the meat and potatoes of this. Alright guys, got this center console piece, cup holder out of the way. I didn't have to disconnect the line lock, so that's good. But anyway, we want to get to that screw, and then there's going to be 4 more up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I said, I left them out because my shit's broken and I was going to get a new one anyway. Now, to get to the top up here, there's this little plate. All you have to do is get a screwdriver or a trim tool and pop it up. It comes out and this is free. I have a gauge cluster. I might actually change that one out, but I disconnected that and now we are ready to go. So you would take those screws out and these 2 down here, and then we'll be ready to pull this. Alright guys, I'm going to try my best to show you this. All you're going to do is start at the bottom, start pulling. Just pull nice and easy. There's some little clips in there and you are free. Now the only other thing you got to disconnect is the flashers. So reach back there, it's a little push down tab, pull out, and this whole thing is free. HVAC stays in here, so that's all good. So now, gotta go in the house. I gotta swap this little button out for the one on the new bezel because that one was broken. The guy I got it from was very upfront about that, so I was like, just swap this out, easy peasy, 4 screws. So let me go swap this out and we'll swap the new one back in. Alright guys, transferred everything over, my radio trim, my emergency hazard light button, that's all swapped over, so we're just gonna go right back the way we came together. So put this little plug right there for the e-brake or the flasher lights back in. Just do a little snippy snap. That is in. Now I gotta reroute these wires up through here. They're like 40,000 feet long. I'm gonna slide this in. Again, make sure your vent is clear of wires, which that one is not. Then you're gonna drop it down. around the knobs for the HVAC. Again, just make sure everything's away from the vent. And then just push her home the rest of the way. There we go. So now up top, you gotta put your 4 screws back in. I suggest getting a little stubby guy because there's not a lot of room. These ones you can get, the ones in the back you need a stubby. So here we go. And don't crank this thing down hard because obviously the last one broke. So just a little eat. Nice and gentle here. Just a little snug. Okay, those 4 are done. Let's go to the bottom. Good enough. All right, so this is all back in. Let me put the gauge pod back in, stuff all these wires back up top, and we'll wrap up the front of this. We'll put this all back together, and we'll see the final product. All right, guys, and just like that, our bezel is in. Gauge pod's back in. I'm probably going to change out this whole gauge pod, though. We'll see if I want to spend the $300 on that. But yeah, everything's back together. Center console is back together for the first time in probably 2 years. Since this GTO project started. So I'm happy with that. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to Tyler from TJR Auto YouTube channel. Sourced that bezel from him. Saved me a ton of money. Good kid. Go support his channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. Here's his logo. So if you see it, hit subscribe. Now let's move on to we'll go on to the rear shocks. We'll change out the bushings up top there. Knock that out real quick. Should be a 5-minute job. Hopefully. I'll catch up with you there. Alright guys, we're going to change some of the bushings in the suspension for the coilovers. As you can see, this one's split. I don't know if you can zoom, well, I'll zoom in on it. But yeah, you can tell it's split. And it's because I tightened it too much. It's supposed to be 10 foot-pounds, but this little stub's too tall and I couldn't get a torque wrench in there. So just going to do it by feel this time and not crank it down as much. So let's go under the car, loosen the bolt for the bottom of the shock, and then we'll start loosening this guy up. All right, we're only going to make this thing so loose just so it doesn't drop down on us. Got some thread in there. We'll start loosening it from the top, let it drop down a little bit. We'll kick it out, swap the bushings, and we should be home free. All right, this nut's a 14mm. I don't know what the stock one is, but we're just gonna loosen this thing up until it comes loose because I tightened the shit out of it. Okay, maybe you can see that, but yeah, I got a decent crack in there. When it was compressed down, it was way worse. Let's get this down, get the new one in. I put a jack under the tire so I could put load on the suspension. There it goes. Alright, we got it. Okay, we're going to keep the old washer on. We're going to put the new bushing on. And we're just going to shove it right back up and in. This guy started. I'm not going to crank it down all the way. Alright, so it's just snug. Let's go back up top and button that up. Alright, so we're going to drop this guy down. All the way down. Make sure you're in. Put the washer back on top. Get this little nut. Like I said, we're not going to go crazy. Let me jack up the tire so I make sure that we're down all the way. Yep. See what happens? Pushes up. Let's get that back down there. Alright, I think that's about as down as it wants to go, so that's good. We'll tighten this back up. Let's tighten as much by hand as possible. It's going to go nice and easy until it starts getting hard. I'm not going to go crazy. Okay, so we're about bottomed out there, so I'm going to go a little bit more and call it at that. Let's crank up the suspension a little more, make sure it's not loose. Okay, we are not loose. So we'll put our little locking nut on. Put our little adjuster back in. Spin that on. Lock it by hand. And then we'll just button up the bottom. Run that home with the impact gun and we'll be done. All done. Okay guys, gonna try and get this broken bolt out. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. That one's in, the other two are in. I already punched it. Gonna see if I can drill it out a little bit and get one of those bolt remover tools out of there, or to get it out, I should say. So wish me luck. Alright guys, gonna go out and do the oil change because removing that bolt in the back did not go as planned. So could not drill up into it, couldn't get it out, so eventually when I go to redo the rear, probably weld the bolt to it or something and back it out. But right now, I'm gonna pass on that. So we're gonna do the oil change, we're gonna check out the leak that I got. It's only a slight couple drops that came down. For some reason I think it fixed itself, but we're gonna find out. Let me jack the car up, get under it, and we will see what we got. Seems like the leak fixed itself. It's not leaking, so let's put the filter back in, and that's gonna be it. All right guys, a couple days later, and I went back under the car, took the skid plate off. It doesn't appear that there is an oil leak. What I actually think it was is I have a sandwich plate adapter that feeds my oil pressure gauge. So I think when I lubed it up, maybe went a little too crazy, and when the engine heated up, it just kind of sweated some oil down. It was on the skid plate, like I said, it was nothing crazy. So I think we're good. I haven't had an oil pressure issue or, you know, low oil light coming on. There was plenty of oil left in there when I drained the oil. So I think that is a success. So there is no leak. The car is nice and clean, gave it a bath. Might be getting new tinted windows soon because mine are 15, 16, actually older than that, probably 20 years old just about. I think I got those things tinted in like 05, so it tells how old I am and how old the car is and how long I've had it, which is the entirety of its life. So when I dig into it, there's no surprises, it's just what it is. So yeah, to end off the video, that broken bolt that's in the third member, that little housing, it's just gonna have to wait because I'm gonna take it off, weld the nut onto it, back it out, find a good replacement, put that up, and hopefully I'll be putting a G-force rear in it. So I'm gonna start looking into that. Not right now, but in a couple months. But I do want to get that rear. And what are your thoughts on this? I've been doing some research on transmissions because I wanted to do a transmission this year. Kind of got talked out of it by Tick. But I want something with straight cut gears. I know it's going to be loud as shit and probably unbearable. But they just sound so cool. So I think I want that. We'll see. We'll see. I think they're going for like 5-6 grand-ish. So that is something to consider for the spring project. I don't know if any of you saw my short, but my Jeep Wrangler is a rust bucket, as pretty much all of them are, unless you live in the south or the southwest. Yeah, so northeast winter's coming, and I want to protect it, so I think I got maybe 1 or 2 more videos left for the GTO for this year. And it'll pop up here and there just to, you know, for some eye bleach when I'm not doing Jeep stuff. I can do GTO stuff. But my garage is going to be occupied with probably a Jeep frame and axles and everything else I'm going to clean up. Is what it is. But I want to restore that thing to almost brand new. And I'm going to see how much better I can make that thing, because it is bulletproof. If anything, the rust is the only thing stopping it at this point, but the engine's strong. It's got 92,000 miles on it. It sucks not being able to drive it because not necessarily the rust, but the hole in the exhaust. There's a Y pipe that comes down. Probably gonna have to get a custom made one. Can't find it anywhere. Enough rambling about the Jeep. That's gonna be in a couple weeks. I might actually start it this weekend and you'll start seeing videos in a couple weeks. But thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the deal, and I will see you in the next one.